The host of Facing South Florida, Jim DeFede, continues our team coverage now. And Jim, what's the overall impact of having these dueling town halls?
Well, I think that, in the package, I think Steve Shale had it correct. I think the voters are the losers in this. It would have been nice to see the two men side by side. Voters really want to hear are the two of them sort of discussing the issues, going back and forth in a civil manner. That did not happen in the first debate, so we had hoped that it would happen in this town hall style debate, but instead we're going to have one on ABC and one on NBC, and voters will have to sort of, I guess, TiVo one and watch one live and then try to go back and forth. But I think it's a missed opportunity for the voters. And I will also say, I think that Donald Trump fares a little worse from this because I'm not sure that the total number of people watching will be as great as them separately as it would have been if they had been combined. And he really could have used the boost of having, 70, 80 million folks watching a debate between him and the former vice president. So, it's a sad thing. I don't know if there's going to be a third debate. Hopefully there will be. But by then it may be too late because I think most voters have made up their mind in this race.
That's right. Jim, what is the early voter turnout, all this mail-in voting that is coming in like we've never seen before? What does it tell you about this election?
It's really fascinating. So let's start with offering a very large caveat that you cannot necessarily draw too many conclusions based on early voting numbers here in Florida and across the country. Why? Because of the pandemic. So comparing it to previous election cycles is really difficult. And let me give you an example of that. In Florida in 2016, 3.3 million people requested to vote by mail. This time around, almost 6 million people have requested ballots in the mail. So it's hard to draw an apples-to-apples comparison. But one thing that Democrats feel good about in terms of the early voting is that you are seeing very high return rates among Democrats for early voting by the mail. Now, that's to be expected. Democrats have been really building this up for a long time, and you expect Republicans to vote on Election Day. But the numbers are staggering. And let me give you a couple more numbers. So, for instance, one of the things that we've seen is that already among the folks who have voted by mail, there are 400,000 out of the 2 million who have voted by mail so far. 400,000 did not vote in 2016. And among that 400,000, Democrats have a 100,000 vote advantage. So the early voting is good. But now let me give you the good news for the Republicans. One of the things that the Republicans keep citing to me as I talk to them is that in 2016, overall voter registration in the state of Florida favored Democrats by 330,000 votes roughly. This time around, Republicans have put on a massive effort to register voters themselves. And that lead that the Democrats had, that in 2016 was 330,000, it's been cut to 130,000. So you see a much tighter race. So don't believe any of the polls. Don't buy into that this is going to be a 6-point race or an 8-point race, for Joe Biden or any candidate. I still expect Florida to be razor thin at the end of the day. It's really anybody can win this. The one thing I think most people agree on is that if Donald Trump does not win Florida, his pathway to winning the White House is very difficult. That's why you're seeing the vice president here and the president here, and why you're going to continue to see them on many more trips over the next 3 weeks, as well as former Vice President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris when she's out of quarantine.
Well, Florida usually comes down to the wire, and we could see that again. Jim, thank you very much for joining us. And don't forget, in-person early voting begins Monday, October 19th. If you want to vote by mail, you can request a ballot up until October the 24th. For continuing coverage of everything leading up to Election Day, log on to cbsmiami.com/campaign2020.